The man I was in a long distance relationship with, the man I loved and trusted, later became my sister's husband, and I got my revenge. I was in a relationship with this guy I met on Facebook, and we dated for 2 years. He was based in Canada, and because he wasn't close, automatically it was a long distance relationship. I know a lot of you will find it hard to believe that I did long distance relationship for 2 years, but I did, right? Because I loved him. I trusted him. Like, the communication was great. Everything about us was great. We shared a bond to the point that we even pray together sometimes. And sometimes when we're on a video call or WhatsApp call, we do slip off on the call. Yes. If he's going out, if I'm going out, it tells me where he's going to. It gives me his location. Like, it was that strong. The bond that we shared was that strong. And because I loved him, and he was telling me that he's looking forward to coming back to Nigeria, because he said he would relocate back to Nigeria. Yes. I kept myself for him. When I'm feeling the urge to have sexual intercourse, I didn't. I kept myself for him because, I loved him now. I was looking forward to the day I will see him. Exactly one year, 8 months into the relationship, yes, this man started changing in character. Like, if I tell him things, he would turn it into a fight. Like, this was a man that before, when I tell him things, when we are talking, he listens, no fight, no quarrel, no wahala. But all of a sudden, he started changing. I brought it to his attention, and even that day that I told him about what I noticed in his character, the changes, he still turned it to fight. So, for peace to reign, make wahala no day now, I just let everything slide, and I felt, okay, I've put enough effort into this relationship. I don't want it to be wasted. Now, exactly few weeks after that incident happened, right? He said, there's something he wants to tell me. That he knows that we've discussed about marriage, because at some point in the relationship, we discussed about marriage, how we intend to do it. He said he knows that we've discussed about marriage, but he don't think he can marry me until I get pregnant first. Like, he wants me to get pregnant first before we'll get married. He also said that when it's confirmed that I'm pregnant, I'll have to wait for the pregnancy to get to like 3 months before we get married. And in terms of that marriage thing, he doesn't want a big wedding. He just wants something small, maybe in my father's parlor. He would just come with like 4 of his people, and it will be just me, a few of my uncles, and my siblings will just do it in the parlor. That's what he wants. When he said all these things, I was like, where is this one coming from? Because this was not the thing we agreed initially. How can he be asking me to get pregnant before I get married? Like, I don't want to get pregnant before I get married. It's not how it's done. You get married first, then you get pregnant. And I said, if you're questioning my fertility, let me go to the lab and run some tests, and I'll show you the result. I have nothing to worry about. But the more I talk, he wasn't listening. And I also told him that, why are you now changing the whole wedding plans? Like, in as much as we know that economy is hard and everybody's trying to be on a budget, I want to have a wedding. Even if it is not big, I want to have a wedding that I will wear clothes, and maybe 2 or 3 of my friends will wear asoebi. I would not something like, but I want to feel that way. Like, I want to have that. Like, is it a bad thing that I'm asking for this? And I asked him, why the sudden change in character? Why the sudden change in plans? Because this was not what we talked about. But he wasn't giving me any answer. I tried to make him understand. I tried to make him reason with me. But now, when a man's mind is made up, he's made up. And long story short, this man told me that is his new rule. That if I cannot stick to it, that means we have to go our separate ways. When he told me this, I thought he was joking. I said, what are you saying? Everything wasn't making sense to me, because I really, really loved this man. To some point, I was begging him to reconsider. I begged and begged. I almost tried to go and discuss with my father that this is what this guy is saying, but fear no let me, because I know, say, if I say such a thing to my father will look me twice like, what is wrong with me? So I begged him to reason, but he didn't change his mind. And after all said and done, the relationship scattered. I'm not gonna lie, during that period, I wasn't myself, because I trusted this guy. I have loved him to the point that, I said I kept my body for him. Now I kept myself. Like, I was envisioning me and this man. So all the plans, all the things I had in my head and everything, I felt bad for some days. Like, I couldn't eat for some days, but I just have to pick myself up and move on with my life. Now, exactly a few years after that whole thing happened, my sister came to us, that's me, my family, and told us that there's a man that is coming to see us. When my sister told me this, that means marriage arrangement, wedding arrangement is already ringing, right? I was so happy. So, on the day that man came, guess who my sister brought? That's my ex from a few years ago. When I saw him, I was dumbfounded. I was speechless, but I just had to compose myself because I didn't want to create a scene. My father was there, my uncle was there, so he saw me, but he pretended as if he didn't know me. After I introduced himself to my family, after I said and done that he left, I called my sister, I said, and I asked her, where did you meet this man? She said she met him on Facebook, that they were mutuals. I think he sent her a friend request, and from there they started dating. Now, I know a lot of you say, when I was in a relationship with him, didn't my sister know him? My sister knew him with another name. Let's say, you know, a regular person has two names now. His name can be Richard Uchechukwu. So my sister knew him as Richard when I was dating him. Then when he introduced himself to my sister, he introduced himself as Uchechukwu. So during that time, we're doing long distance relationship. She knew I was dating him, like I said before, but she didn't know him facially. She calls him Uchechukwu, while I call him Richard. So that was how there was confusion. So I told my sister that. When she told me that they met on Facebook, that's how they started dating. I told her that this is the same guy that I was in a long distance relationship with though. When I told her, she was surprised. She said, you know, those kind of expression. And I still wanted to tell her that this one that me and this guy have dated before, I don't think it would be a good idea for the both of you to get married. She was like, yes. When I told her, she agreed with me. She said I should not worry that she's going to break up with him. But to my greatest surprise, few weeks later, I still discovered that they were dating. I tried to tell her for the second time reasons why she and the guy shouldn't get married. But that's when my sister told me that she don't think cancelling the whole wedding plans with him is a good idea. That in fact, this one that he has come to the house to introduce himself, and there are already rumors out there that she's about to get married. It's going to be a disgrace that she now later break up with the guy, that she cannot face such disgrace. That since it was long distance relationship that we had, and we didn't have sex now, so it doesn't matter. When she said this, I was dumbfounded, but I didn't want to push further. Let's not be as if I'm trying to pour sand into a gari. At some point, I even took the matter to my parents, but they said I shouldn't worry, that God will give me my own. Since me and the guy did not see physically, exactly what my sister said, since we didn't have intercourse, that it doesn't matter, that I should just try and move on with my life. I was heartbroken, I was pained, but I just had to let everything slide. Now, a couple of months later, they got married, of which on the wedding day, I was present. I wasn't happy, but I had to pretend to be happy. Yes, I had to shove my emotion inside and pretended to be happy. When it was time to take pictures, I took pictures with them, and I just did everything I could because I wanted to support my sister. I did it to support my sister. Yes. Now, few months after their marriage, God blessed them with a baby girl. Tell me why, couple of weeks after my sister birthed her baby, he started texting me, telling me things like, oh, I miss you, apologizing that he didn't mean to do it, to break up with me. It was never his intention. I know the funniest thing. This man gave my sister her dream wedding. This man that said I will get pregnant first before he married me. This man that said that he doesn't want anything loud gave my sister her dream wedding. And no, my sister didn't get pregnant before they got married. When he was saying all this thing, I was just looking at him. At first, I didn't even answer him first. I told him that I don't have anything against you. Let's bygone be bygone. You're not my brother-in-law. Everybody move on with your life. The one that now shocked me past is when he said he still wants us to go back to the things that we had, and he still misses me and all of those stuff. This man have guts, shall. When he said all this thing, I was just, I didn't take cognizance of it, but he was persistent. And something was like, you know what? Just use money to pursue him, yes. And I told him, okay, if you want us to continue what we had, yeah, you have to give me so amount. I said this thing to chase him away. But to my greatest surprise, Uncle asked for my account number and sent me ×2 of the money that I asked him. Guys, this story is too long. I think there's going to be a part 2. After he sent me that money, I was surprised because not only did he send me the amount that I asked for, he sent double, and he later asked for us to see, of which we did. Yes, we went on a lunch date and we saw. And when I saw him, I'm not going to lie, those emotions that I thought that has died, it started coming back in. You know one thing about emotions now, it started rushing back in. Like those times we do have video call, those times that we talked about things, and it was not looking different. I think it was now looking fine now, maybe because I don't know, it was just looking different, and it smelled so nice, right? Now, when we're having the lunch and everything, that was when they apologized to me and told me that I should forgive him, that he didn't know what came over him, this, that, he wasn't thinking right then, he knows that he made a mistake, it should have been me all along, yada, yada, yada. When he finished talking, I told him that, don't worry, I've forgiven you and stuff like that. I lied to him actually because I can never forgive that man, right? So after I said that done, after I finished eating, I went back home. From there, we started chatting more, and one thing led to another. We started having a secret affair. Don't look at me like that. Yeah, don't look at me like that because It is what it is. I started having an affair with him and I don't feel bad about it because make it make sense. Which sister will marry a man that has dated her sister before? Like, which sister will go ahead to marry a man knowing fully well that this man has dated my sister before? Regardless of it being long distance relationship or not, she still went ahead to marry him. So now the affair I'm having with her husband is my revenge on her for marrying him even after I asked her not to. Because at some point back then, my sister made some statements. She was like, I'm saying all these things because I'm jealous of her that she's getting married before me. At some point, she said those things. So now I am dating a husband that used to be my ex. And I don't feel bad about it. Call me whatever you want to call me. Call me a wicked person. Call me a witch. Call me different names. It is what it is, right? Life played me and I decided to be on the winning side. I cannot lose for the second time. And as for that man, I plan on having my own revenge on him too. Me dating him is my revenge on my sister. His own revenge is I will get pregnant for him, tell him that I'm pregnant, and also tell my sister. After I'm done telling them, I will abort the pregnancy so that their marriage will scatter. That is my plan. That is my intention. But before then, now I'll just be enjoying his money because I am making him. Like, anytime I ask him for money, he sends me the money, and I don't intend to stop anytime soon. I will make him of every penny, every cover that I can get, save enough. Then when I've scattered their marriage, I will travel abroad. Yes, that's what I intend to do, and I don't feel guilty about it. Yeah, I am the bad sister, right? I am the wicked one, right? Yeah, they should have considered all this before they did their nonsense. He had the guts to give my sister the dream wedding that I begged him for. He had the guts to marry my sister. She wasn't pregnant too before he married her. The same thing I begged him for. And my sister went ahead to do it without considering my feelings. So why should I consider our own feelings now? Why should I? Yeah, it is what it is. Life happens. Everybody's going to be fine at the end of the day. I did what I did and I don't feel guilty about it. Yeah. This is not my story, guys. It was sent to me by a follower. Before you people come for me, please tell me what you think. Did she go too far by having an affair with her sister's husband because she wanted to have a revenge? Or she should have just let everything slide? But wait, why will a sister go and marry a man knowing fully well that her sister dated the man before? Like, why? Like, who does that? And the man self get mind though. After you broke her heart a few years back, you married her sister, only for you to come back and be saying that you miss her. The audacity of some men needs to be studied. But anyways, we listen, we don't judge. What do you think she should have done best? Should she have moved on with her life without doing anything, or you think what she's doing now is the right thing? Please drop your thoughts in the comment section.
I pull up to Subway and I notice my ex is working there, the very ex that cheated on me. So I say I have a very wonderful idea. I know the rules of Subway because she taught me the rules of Subway. So I enter the building. She makes eye contact with me, and at that moment, she knows she's about to have a horrible day. I say, can I get flatbread? Flatbread's difficult to work with. It closes hard, especially if you get a lot of things on it. I say, you know what? Don't give me anything. Huh? She's confused. You can see the perplexion on her face. I said, don't give me anything. Go right to the vegetable. I just want a veggie. She said, oh, okay. I said, put vinegar on it first. A lot of it. Now, you don't pay for vinegar. So I just said, just coat it in vinegar. Just coat it all in vinegar. Just to get the bread soggy and wet. She looks at me. She says, okay. I said, cool. Could you toast that? She says, well, I said, you toast it 5 times. Now the bread is black. Difficult. Disgusting. And I said, just keep putting lettuce on it until I say stop. She puts about 7 handfuls of lettuce. I said, that's good. Get some onions on there. She says, huh? I said, onions. Spinach, too. As a matter of fact, put some mustard on there. I just started saying vegetables because they're condiments. I don't pay for them at Subway. Sub ended up costing like $4, maybe something like that. I said, cool. She looks at me and says, and I watched her struggle to put that sandwich together because it was burnt, crispy, soggy, all at the same time. Every consistency all gathered into one. I rushed right to the bathroom. And I dumped that entire sub in the toilet. Then I flushed 17 times, causing a flood. Now, after I ordered the flatbread sandwich with 7 handfuls of lettuce covered in vinegar, 17 times toasted, destroyed, disgusted. After I did that, because my ex, she cheated on me, so I was a little bit hurt and heartbroken. I texted her and I said, hey, I just saw the bathroom. It's a little bit of a mess because I stuffed that sandwich all the way down in there, all the way up in there, all the way with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I touched it all the way in there. And she said, what? And then she sends me a picture because I still had her number because I'm a little bit toxic. I ain't gonna lie to nobody. Boom. She said, is this you? And I said, LOL, sorry, with 2 W's. She posted a status on Facebook next day about how hard her job was, about how people just leaving a mess. And she posted those very images. And people could see the sandwich floating on the side of the left because she took a picture of the sandwich. And they said, what is that black rock on the left? That was me. Wasn't diarrhea, wasn't Pepto-Bismol, messing up my tummy, wasn't anything crazy. That was just one sandwich messed up that I paid basically nothing for. Then I came in the next day, got a whole set, got 7 sandwiches lined up. Then I said, well, let me go grab my wallet. All those 7 sandwiches, wasted. Just made her make very difficult 7 sandwiches, all difficult, each one more complex than the last. Because now I figured out where she worked at. Then after that, didn't see her again. She changed subways. Stop cheating on people. Because I'm petty. I'll do it.
Y'all want to hear another story about a time I chose psychological warfare instead of violence? Let's go back some years. I was dating this guy, and this is about the time I found out he was cheating on me. So we're in bed. He's asleep. I'm awake. I've never been the type of girl that goes through my man phone. Ever. His phone went off. Like, he had a text message and it started buzzing because he had it on silent. Let me tell you, the phone came to me. It started buzzing and it was like bzzz, bzzz. Phone damn near jumped on my lap. The universe wanted me to know what was going on. So I pick up the phone to put it back over by him, and he had it to where like the banner pops up. You know, you don't have to open the text message. And it says, are you on this side of the town yet? Because I need some. Excuse me? When I tell you, phone to the dome. He woke up like, hey, what's going on? You sleeping with this girl? Now, this is not the first time I've seen this girl's name. There was another time, months and months before, he mentioned her. For some reason, I can't remember. Anyways. And it was just something about her name at that time. Like, I've heard different names, males, female, like it did not matter. But in that instant, it was like, it just sent something to my spidey senses. And I put that name on the shelf. Some didn't feel right. It's from this girl. So he's like, what? I was like, you sleeping with this girl? Like, what she mean? He was like, not that. I know that's not what she mean. So I'm like, okay, call her. He's like, right now? Yes, right now. She texts you right now. Call her. And he's like, I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? Because women, a lot of women be crazy. A lot of women be on bullshit all the time. And who knows what she's going to say? She should say what she called for. He's like, yeah, but you don't know that. You don't know that. Like, women like to play games and say little things to, call her and put it on speakerphone. And don't say nothing weird. I don't want to hear no subliminals, nothing. Just call her. He like, okay, but I'm warning you. You probably don't want to do this. I've never wanted to do anything more in my life. So he gave her a call on speakerphone and she answered. And she's like, hey, he like, yeah, what's up? She like, nothing. I'm here with my cousin. We was wondering if you was around because we want some spinach. And he was like, nah, I ain't even around right now. I'm on the other side of town. She was like, oh, all right, bye. And he's like, all right, cool. You good? She like, yeah. He like, all right, peace out. They get off the phone. He like, see, you always tripping. I'm like, I don't think I am. You sleeping with this girl? He's like, no, I've never slept with her. It's the way he said, I've never slept with her, let me know that he's playing the game of semantics. I said, okay, so have you done anything with her that you would not want me to know about? Anything with her that if I found out, I would flip my shit? have you touched her or she touched you in any schmexual way? And his little cheeks got a little rosy. And he was like, well, she did give me some once or twice. I'm like, and you think that's cool? Like, where? He's like, in a car. In my car? He like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Get dressed. He's like, why? Get dressed and then call her and tell her we're coming over. He's like, what? No, see, see, you also, no, I'm not on anything. Because she know we're together, right? She know about me. He's like, yeah. And you guys chose to do this behind my back. Do it in my face. He's like, you're insane. You're insane. No, nobody's gonna do that. Okay, well then we're not gonna be together. He's like, what? If I did that in your face, you gonna break up with me anyways. You don't know that. But what you do know is that if you don't, I am definitely gonna break up with you. Because I feel like if you're bold enough to do this behind my back and you're bold enough to do this in my car, be bold enough to do it in my face. And then we'll deal with what happens after that. He was visibly shook. He was like shaking. So he had to call her back, tell her that I knew what happened and that we were coming over there. So we pull up to in front of her house. I'm sitting in the passenger seat of the car. He gets out. He's chain smoking. Like he on death row. Nervous as ever. She come on my side to say hello. Jump scare. When I tell you, she literally, I was thinking in my mind that this girl was going to be so beautiful. Like, that's why he was willing to risk it all. Like, she was just so beautiful that his flesh could not resist the temptation. You cheated on me with Quasimodo? You cheated on me with the Hunchback of Notre Dame? First off, nothing against tall girlies. But she was 6'6". This little bitty ass car. Girl, how you even fit in there? But anyways, so I'm like, how you doing? My name is, she's like, yeah, I know. He talks about you all the time. And she's like, and I've been wanting to meet you for the longest because actually I like girls and I don't care what you like. What I like is vengeance. So here's how this is going to go down. Now, she was all for it. Him, he was about to throw up. He was just like, no, like, I don't, like, you're never going to look at me the same. And the whole time, that was the plan. Because sometimes I'm going to need to hate you right off rip. And I already knew that I wanted to be done. And this was going to solidify it for me. So anyways, we went to our old house because we were in transition of moving. And me and her in a room, I'm like on my phone playing Candy Crush. She's sitting there waiting and he's in the other room drinking, like getting drunk, trying to like get his mind. It took him 2 hours to come in there. It took him 2 hours to come in there. And when he came in there, he looked like he was about to cry. Okay, sir, it's over. Bye.
Get ready with me whilst I tell you a story time about how we got the best revenge ever on my best friend's ex-boyfriend. So this is going to teach you to always get your significant other's email address. And my best friend, she basically found some really bad stuff out. And I was like, leave this with me. I will fix this. We can cheer you up. So I said to her, give me his email and leave it with me. And about half an hour later, I texted her saying, he will now be receiving newsletters from, where was it?
Seeds.
Seed companies.
The
as
Wales.
in gardening
the
seeds.
Weather updates in Wales.
Weather updates in Wales. And there was another one that was on the first round. So we also signed him up for a farmer's newsletter, and we set his preference as that he was interested in breeding in cows. I also
planting things.
And like planting things.
Yeah.
And I also signed him up for Reddit and set his preference as Pokemon.
You signed him up for Gumtree.
Groupon. Yeah. All of the stuff that we just thought, you know what, this is going to annoy him. This is going to annoy him so much. And he's not going to be able to do anything other than unsubscribe. But they'll keep coming through and coming through and coming through. So we also, this was when my best friend wanted to get involved. She was enjoying it. We signed him up to receive a free Bible to his house. We also...
So he could find Jesus.
So he could find Jesus. And we also decided that he needed a consultation about getting a penis enlargement. We thought that could be quite useful for him.
A nice callback.
So we also signed him up for bagpiping weekly newsletters. And
news on bagpiping from across the world.
And the sausages as well.
At Sausage Fest. So it gives you like the best tips and spices to use to make your own sausages.
Yeah, and the best casings. So that was a good one. So what I would say is the moral of this story is, if you need to get revenge and you don't know how to do it, do something that
you don't want to like do anything illegal.
Yeah, and you don't want to do anything illegal. Do something that's going to annoy them for the rest of time. Because realistically, nobody sits and unsubscribes from newsletters.
I just delete all of them and
forget to unsubscribe. This is the key to being and staying annoying. So if you're seeing this, sorry, I'm not sorry. Deal with it.
I found out that my boyfriend was cheating on me. You'll never guess who it was with. Story time. So me and my boyfriend, who we'll call Steve, have been together for nearly 3 years. And honestly, I thought everything was great. But over the past few months, he has become very secretive. He's hiding his phone from me. In my gut, I just knew. So one night, Steve left his phone out whilst he went for a shower. I knew it was wrong, but I checked his messages anyway. And at first, nothing seemed off. Just a few texts to friends. And that was when I saw a thread with someone named Coach. And let me tell you, these texts were not about sport. Clearly about some sort of physical activity. They were extremely flirty texts. Things like, last night was so amazing, can't wait to see you again. And this was the exact moment my heart shattered. But instead of confronting him right away, I decided I was going to play this smart. I needed proof and I wanted revenge. So over the next few days, I acted completely normal. I laughed, I smiled, I kissed him goodbye every day. And eventually I found out that he was going to a hotel. That night I followed him there and I sat outside and waited. Girly pops, my heart was racing. Now after about an hour or so, at first I didn't believe what I was seeing. My dad walked out the hotel and right behind him followed Steve. We were laughing, talking, and I thought, this is probably just a massive coincidence. But no, then my dad grabbed hold of Steve's hand and kissed him. What do you mean my boyfriend's cheating on me with my dad? I drove home in an absolute daze, but by the time I got home, the daze turned to rage. I was ready to whomp someone. So I came up with a plan. Secretly, I was planting seeds. Every time Steve would have a shower, I'd screenshot the images and send them to myself. And then I would forward them to my mum from an anonymous phone number. I then sent the email confirmation from the hotel to my dad's work. Because he was booking them on his work card, calling them business trips. And Steve had something very special planned for him. Steve loves his car. I waited for him to leave, probably to go meet my dad, and I tipped sardine oil all in the interior of his car. The smell, unbearable. Fast forward a few days, my mum filed for divorce. Go Queen. Dad got demoted from work. And Steve, well, he was left with a very stinky car. But this story isn't over. Yesterday, I got a text from my dad and it said, "We need to talk. Steve isn't the only one I've been seeing."
So here's how I got revenge on the 4 women who I found out that my husband had been cheating on me with after he unalived himself. 3 of those women were my friends. So the first one that I will speak about was the girl who was my best friend. Now, she held my hand at that funeral. She inserted herself right at the front with me. And I really did lean on her for support at that time, which considering what she'd done to me, was just even more of a betrayal. She now works in a high school, and when I tell you, it has kept me awake at night, thinking about what I could do to ruin all of them. At the time, I wanted to ruin all of them. I wanted to ruin their lives the way they'd ruined mine. I was thinking about laminating posters, sticking them around the area, leafleting outside, taking out an advert on a plane and having it fly over the top of the high school. Anything to get the word out there, send letters to the staff of what she had actually done to me. Now, as I said in my previous video, what I did do was I messaged her and I said, don't ever speak to me ever again. And she just said, I'm sorry. And I never even told her family at the time, and I really wish that I had. So by some grace of God, I am hoping that maybe this TikTok will find them and they will find out what she did. The second girl was the girl he'd been having in a 2-year affair with, who lived on the other side of town. What she did was a disgrace. She, after his death, was calling herself his girlfriend. She put pictures of them all over her social media. She wrote a personal letter about their relationship, how in love they were, and she hand-delivered that to my address. She did everything to try and steal the grief thief, I think is the actual word for a woman like her, amongst a lot of other words. She couldn't just let me grieve in peace. She couldn't let me be a mother to my children, and on top of what she'd done, that is just unforgivable. The third girl was a girl that was my young son's friend at school, his mum. She was a hairdresser, she did my hair for my wedding. She had her own mental health issues going on. So I'm not going to say too much about her, not that it's inexcusable. However, she knew what she was doing at the time. I'm not going to chuck around the word village bike, but those words would be appropriate. The fourth woman was the business partner's daughter, who was his friend's wife, the one who we had just been on holiday with for 2 weeks, just a couple of months before. And it ended her marriage. I did have to send the messages to her husband. I did feel guilty because they had children the same age. The children were friends with my children. And I did feel a little bit of guilt. However, I could not carry that guilt myself. And I came to realise that that was her burden to bear, not mine. So I'm sure everybody wants to hear that I went round there and smashed cars up and egged their houses and caused some real physical damage to some of them, but I really didn't have the energy at the time. I didn't have the energy, and I truly believed that moving on would be the best revenge that I could have. I couldn't live with that bitterness in my heart. I couldn't live with that hatred in my heart. And I just knew that I didn't have those kind of morals. I wasn't that kind of person. And then being those kind of people already meant that they were losers in life. They were already horrible, bad people. And I truly believe in karma. I knew that life was not going to be easy for women like that. Not that I'm only blaming the women. He obviously did have a big hand in it, and I will do another story about his mental health at the time and how what happened unfolded. And if you're going through this at the minute, or have you been through it in the past, understand that when people cheat, it is not you. You could be the most amazing person to them. You could be beautiful. It's nothing to do with looks. You could be successful. You could have great morals. You could be loyal. You could treat them the best ever, and they will still do these things to you because there's something missing in them. It is literally nothing to do with you and how you treat them. So if you are going through this currently, or if you've been through it in the past, walk away, hold your head high, stay dignified, keep your morals correct, and have a good life. That's the best revenge that you can give to anyone.
I want to tell you guys about a very petty revenge story, because I think it'll be a great topic for my next podcast. And so obviously I need to come in with my own topics or own sort of content. And it reminded me of many, many years ago. I was in my early 20s, maybe not even 21 yet. And I was dating this guy. It was quite serious, but I had a very, very sneaking suspicion that he had been cheating on me. It turns out he did. I think he slept his way around all of Joburg. And I think if I had to name his name, everybody would know and agree that he's an absolute pig. Anyway, he had his own place, and I would spend a lot of time there. And the one night I was making him dinner, and he wanted lamb chops, and I don't eat meat. I haven't eaten meat since I was a little girl. So I was cooking him some chops, but I think we'd have been having a fight. He was being a bit of an arsehole to me. And I remember shaking the seasoning, the like Bryce salt or seasoning or like chop and spice thing onto the chops. Put it down, looked down at the meat, and the meat was like visibly moving. I mean, it was like it had movement in it, on it. Look closer, and lo and behold, there were just dozens, if not hundreds, of little weevils. Weevils are those tiny, like little brown bugs that you get in food that's been opened and contaminated, and it often happens and occurs in spices. But like this meat is moving, it's got its own pulse. I think back to the fight, I think back to what a dick this guy is, and instead of chucking it all away or rinsing it off, did I not turn on the frying pan, sear the chops both sides, added some black pepper to hide the weevils, and served it to him for dinner. So yes, revenge is a dish best served cold and weevilled.